Alright, I'm saying it right here in the beginning of the video. Buckle up, sweetie. Daddy's had some coffee. So, I'm pretty excited. Today is a good day overall. It is the second to last episode. The last episode, we're actually going to get the Torid Incarnon, and I'm going to show you how to mod it, how to upgrade everything, where to get it, and how to turn it into an absolute in-game Steelpath shredding monster. But this episode, we're going to go and finish off Steelpath. We're going to do the new war quest. We're going to do everything, tie up all the loose ends, and we're going to be doing up to almost 5 million damage crits at the end of our first week here. So let's get this episode started. If you enjoy it, as always, please consider liking and subscribing, and maybe even leave a little bit of a comment. Anyways, hope you enjoy. Alright, so let's start things out here in Deimos Bounties. We got 1200 endo in 8 minutes, and an extra Weeping Wounds, which you guessed it, we sell for 20 platinum. It's genuinely that easy. Like, just 20 platinum, 20 platinum, 20 platinum. It's insane. Deimos Bounties it's the truth. Narrow-Minded is a super good one. This is on run 15. We've gotten really lucky with our vault runs. Oh, my goodness, look at this little baby. This lost little boy. Let's go ahead and pick him up now. And then we're going to melt him down for endo and then throw him on our modifier called Blood Rush, because we're psychopaths, and that's kind of what we do. Anyways, 22 hours into the run, 186 out of 238 completion, and yeah, looking pretty good. Progress is feeling great. Mastery rank 5. Here's the Volt build at the end of day 4, prioritizing duration and strength as usual. And here's the melee at the end of day 4. Not a lot's changed. Wrapping things up with the Chains of Horror quest, that leaves us needing a Argon Crystal, which is no biggie. We just go break stuff in any void mission. You'll find one pretty quickly. We then use that to start our personal chambers segment. It's going to take an hour crafting time. No big deal again. We'll just go farm another Weeping Wounds while we wait. Now we've got a little bit of plat. We're going to spend some on Berserker Fury, and then we're also going to sell a Transient Fortitude we had left over from last episode's vault runs. We're at 211 out of 238 nodes at 26 hours. And while we're completing our Void Star chart, once you spend like anywhere from 3 to 10 minutes inside of a Void mission, Corrupted Vor has a chance to spawn, and he has a guaranteed chance to drop these 60-60 Toxin modifiers, which don't sell for a lot, but they're actually quite good. Then went ahead and started up an Atomos and a Deriga for future use, and we get pretty lucky. I don't hate it. That's kind of cool. Yeah, we're gonna rock that for a bit. Then I decided it's probably time to start doing some arbitrations. We get 13 Vitus Essence and 1600 endo. That was a pretty bad run. This one was slightly better with 2500 raw, an adaptation, and some sculptures, so not too bad. And once you make it to Pluto, and you're doing the Eris Junction here, you're going to complete this mission here. This is going to unlock Arbitrations. Arbitrations are insane. So all we have to do is equip the focus lens. We have to complete the war within. We get a free focus lens. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy there. Once you have Arbitrations unlocked, you will find them up here in your alerts. These rotate every 1 hour, so it'll be a different Warframe that is like extra strong in there, and a different set of weapons that's extra strong in here. The survival, defense, and honestly interception missions are probably my favorite in terms of just getting as many Vitus Essence as possible. Now we're going to need a lot of Vitus Essence, because if we go to a relay, can't go to that one until Mastery rank 8 for some reason. Let's go to a relay real quick, and we'll look at the arbitration mods, or galvanized mods. These Vitus drones are the things that drop Vitus Essence, so look out for these dudes in missions, arbitration missions specifically. Anyways, we can spend our Vitus Essences here in his shop for some really potent mods, so I want to bring like 2 or 3 to your attention real quick. Rolling Guard straight up just makes you immortal for 3 seconds whenever you roll, and it removes all status effects. So, and it's only a 7-second cooldown whenever it's maxed out. It's kind of absurd. This thing is like the Cadillac of survivability right here. You can slap this on pretty much every Warframe in the game, and it's going to feel infinitely better. So if you're struggling getting into Steelpath, get this, throw it on, level it up. You won't regret it. Then we have all the galvanized mods. So you've got your shotgun mods up top. Then we've got our pistol mods. We've got some rifle mods, and then we've got some melee mods. Now, the really good ones that I would highly prioritize would be galvanized steel for our melee. This just gives us a bunch of crit chance and crit damage, which we pick up. We have that. And then if you're using a secondary, galvanized diffusion is really sweet. And then we're obviously going to be getting galvanized chamber for our Torid Incarnon because, you know, it's probably one of the best mods in the game, in my opinion. So, these galvanized mods are conditional mods. Now, we have to get kills in order for this to ramp up. So you see 80% multi-shot, but then on kill, we get an additional 30% multi-shot that stacks 5 times, which is absurd. This is a ton of multi-shot once we actually get our, our kills online. After 5 kills, it's 5, 10, 15, 150. It's like 220, 230% multi-shot or something like that. Whenever it's fully stacked up with your galvanized stacks, it's nasty. So, galvanized chamber, galvanized steel. I went ahead and picked those up. We ran enough arbitration to get both of those. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We were lucky enough to get adaptation just as a raw natural drop from arbitration itself, so we didn't have to spend the 20 extra Vitus Essence on buying it. And I'll probably go farm up another 20 Vitus Essence and get rolling guard. So that's all I really want from here. And I just wanted to show this off to you in case you're brand new or you need a little bit of a refresher on where to go to spend the Vitus Essence. And look at all that juicy endo. Almost 8,000 endo from a couple of arbitrations selling those sculptures. We're going to invest that into our galvanized steel, blood rush, and adaptation. Now, we didn't really talk about adaptation earlier. Effectively, this is just 90% damage resistance that builds up as you get hit. So it's just insane. Instead of taking 100 damage, we take 10 damage. What's not to love about that? We're also going to go ahead and use our first forma here on the Broken War, give it a nice V polarity. Any mods that match with that polarity only cost half as much mod capacity, so that's going to allow us to use much more mods on the weapon itself, which is always a good thing. We actually got really lucky here and got the Nightwatch Napalm, and we're going to sell it for 20 platinum. That's a nice little surprise. Wasn't expecting it, wasn't trying to actively farm for it, but it was pretty cool that we just got it. Mastery rank 6 in the bag. We cook up our Excalibur Umbra as part of the sacrifice quest, and we get that completed. Now we get a free Excalibur Umbra. We'll talk about that more in a bit, but let's faceplant a space chicken into an industrial-sized bug zapper first. I hate the Rapala list. I hate this fight so much. But it's good because this was the last node that we had to complete, and now it's day 7. It is the final day. We have gotten all of our star chart completed in 31 hours, 238 out of 238. The last thing we need to do is the new war quest. All right, so as it turns out, whenever you already know exactly what to do because you've done it 3 or 4 times, it doesn't take too long. So 2.5 to 3.5 hours or so, and we got some pretty valuable stuff. So namely the Sirocco is a nice new amp for us. This thing is significantly better than the Moat. Pretty much anything is better than the Moat. And then the Nataruk. The new war is complete. We have ourselves a nice little primary. Come on. Ah, we did it. We did it. Okay. That's awesome. And bam. Steelpath. That seems pretty good. That seems pretty quick, I'll be honest. Profile, we are mastery rank 6. There's the Broken War. This thing carried me. If I had a little bit more endo, I'd dump a little bit more in, but it gets so expensive. You know, rank 8 is perfectly fine for now. At this point, realistically, I would start leveling up the Nataruk because the odds of you playing at the exact time and then getting, you know, Torid Incarnon unlocked immediately as soon as you're done with the new war is really unrealistic, like hyper unrealistic. But if you do, hell yeah, man, that's awesome. But Nataruk really will be good enough for like your early Steelpath transition. But yeah, there's a lot that we could do, but this guy right here, just a regular Volt with a free broken war, not too bad. Not too bad at all. All right, old man Teshin and his weird guinea pig complete. And let's just go ahead and pick up a Vara for our first circuit. We need to do the normal circuit, get it out of the way to unlock the Steelpath version of the circuit. So 23 minutes, we get our first 3 done. And then about, I don't know, like an hour and 20 minutes later, we do another section. We get to like level 3000 enemies. I had to dip out. They were getting pretty rippy. But yep, 1 away and boom, all done. So let's see if that allows us to open up the Steelpath yet. No, we need to complete the lone story first. All right, time to kill us a giant gummy worm. So real quick, you just kind of fly up to his butt. You come onto this little back node here. It'll light up blue. You just grapple it. And then every once in a while, he's gonna pulse this blue chain. You wanna jump off, let that pass you. Otherwise, if that hits you, it'll basically windshield wiper you off of him. And then we're just gonna keep making our way leapfrog style down to his head. And eventually, once we get here, we can transfer into him, take control, and yeah, it's pretty sweet. Then we're going to be transported into this little arena where we're going to be going from killing ads that this boss spawns to shooting these red rings. I'm not sure why whenever they were creating this giant snake, they put these huge, vulnerable, explosive red rings around it, but I'm glad they did. So we clean him up and we get this nice big fancy chest that's conveniently placed on a circle for some reason. And we now have access to Steelpath. So the first weapon that you select is going to be your tier 5 reward, and then the second one is going to be your tier 10 reward. I went with dual Toxicist, even though the Ichor and the Homos are actually pretty viable as well. We got 5 hours to complete this. I'm probably not going to try and get the actual dual Toxicist because, you know, I don't need it. But we do end up managing to get the Torid Incarnon Genesis here. So Mastery rank 6 with 3 hours and 41 minutes to spare and 35 time played hours total. So now we need to go to our dojo and actually pick up the Torid research and get this thing cooking up. I'm gonna spend a little bit of my platinum. Then I realized, you know what? We have to do the Angels of Zaramin quest in order to actually unlock Calvalero. So we come in here, we kill a thrall, and we come say hi to Kira, which is a void angel. The Sirocco, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's the new amp we just got from doing the new war. It does well enough, right? Just make sure that you equip that before you come in here, and you'll be all set. All right, after a quick complimentary teabagging, we talk to Caballero, where he informs us that we still need 10 Pathos clamps and 20 maw fangs. Not to worry, buddy, I got you covered. We went back to the lone story and found a body of water, and you'll find Feed the Ravenous Maw. We come in here, we give the chomp to these fishy boys inside, and you'll see that every fish that we give the chomp, we get one of those little amber shards lit up at the top there. So that top bar is our oxygen meter. Whenever that expires, we run out and we have to come back up to air. But those little orange nodes, if you fill those all the way up, you get better rewards, or more of them anyway. So, survey says, boom. We got 1 maw fang because we didn't fill it all the way up. But if you do fill it all the way up, bam, 3 maw fangs. So, it's not going to take too long. I spend maybe like 20 minutes in here. I don't know, 24 minutes. We got 36 maw fangs. I let my son take the joysticks for a spin, and he liked giving those fishies the chomp. So, we got almost double what we needed. Then I had to finish it out and kill this worm boy one more time for our Pathos clamp. So it's the same thing as before. Start at the butt, go to the head, take control of his brain, and make him, you know, kill his buddies. Yeah, we might be the bad guys. Anyways, I'm shooting these boys with the Vectis. Vectis is a super early game weapon as well. And it actually does really good work. So if you're looking for a primary early on and mastery around like 3 or 4, the Vectis is a solid option for you, especially against single target. All right, so after giving Earthworm Jim the business here, we're gonna skip this cutscene and get our affinity and get our final 10 clamps needed. Oh, it's exciting. Caballero, give me the thing. Incarnon, ready, upgrade, yes. Ah, feels good. It's official. We now have the Torid Incarnon. So we're gonna equip this bad boy right away. Slap a catalyst on that baby. And we are looking good. 37 hours. All right, so let's circle back for a second and talk about the Excalibur Umbra, because we kind of glanced over him earlier, and this is really, really useful information if you're a new player or returning player. This is new content to you. So whenever you unlock the Excalibur Umbra, you get this from completing the Sacrifice quest. It's very similar to the Nataruk and the Broken War. You complete a main storyline quest and they give you something crazy in OP. He already comes reactored, but the really, really cool thing about Umbra Excalibur is he comes with these 3 polarity mod slots right here. And these are umbral slots. And they fit very, very specific special modifiers. So these will enhance themselves. So it's a full set of 3. Now let's take a look at 99% armor here on umbral fiber. If I take off one of the set pieces, now it drops down to 71%. If I drop another one, now it goes to 55%. So you realistically want to be running as many of these as possible, complete the full set, and they'll enhance each other. Because of this, you get a ton of ability strength, armor, and health. So he's very, very, very tanky. And because he comes with a bunch of health specifically, not shield, lifesteal is kind of an option. So I can show you a pretty cheap, budget-friendly, mid-game build that can put in some pretty serious work with nothing but the Broken War and the Excalibur Umbra, which are both free things. So I might do a standalone video on that, just breaking into Steelpath with free stuff. But next episode, the next video that I want to do is talking about the Torid and the Nataruk. So it's going to be relevant to you even if you don't have the Torid Incarnon. But the Nataruk and the Torid, pretty much, I'm going to mod them the same way. Truth be told, I'm going to break it down for you and clear the air a little bit. Now, this is my opinion, but I am a firm believer in that this game only really has about 30 to 35 mods. If I'm being completely honest, there's hundreds of mods, right? Absolutely there is. And is there a place for piercing hit? Sure, potentially, maybe somewhere once, right? But at the end of the day, whenever you look at every single build on any website ever, it's the same 30 mods on every single loadout. Every time. So, there's a beginning tier, like your budget-friendly stuff, and then there's your absolute in-game min-maxed meta stuff, right? Well, there's a lot of crossover from the Nataruk to the Torid Incarnon. So, as a byproduct of me farming up next episode and trying to turn the Torid Incarnon into a Steelpath monster, like we had discussed in the intro of this video, I'm going to be getting a lot of the same mods that the Nataruk enjoys as well. So that's going to be pretty sweet. So stick around, watch that. It'll still be relevant to you even if you don't have a Torid Incarnon, I promise. The Atomos is a Mastery Rank 4 weapon. Now, I don't have anything going on with this right now. I put a catalyst in it, and we're ready to go. I'm going to put Viral and Heat on it with a bunch of multi-shot and a bunch of Fire Rate, just so we can get as many Viral and Heat procs out as quick as possible. And that's going to be our primer weapon. Talk more about that in the next episode as well. So if you're just breaking into Steelpath, in normal starchart, you don't really need to prime enemies, but in Steelpath, you might need to start priming some enemies. We can talk quickly about the heat procs, though. So it says here, the status effect, we can heat sets enemies on fire, causing them to panic and temporarily reduce their armor up to 50% with multiple stacks. So we can reduce their armor by 50% with this. It's kind of great. So we want as many heat procs as possible on the enemies. Plus, we just put heat on them, right? And if you were paying attention to last episode, with our condition overload, we do more % melee damage per status type affecting the target. So we have heat and viral. Maybe we want our primer to be cold and, other stuff. Cold, corrosive, all that stuff. And now our condition overload gets even more impactful because now they have 5 or 6 different status types on them, not just the 3 that we're already doing. So that could be really good. So Atomos is a pretty good pick here. You should definitely pick this up. If you're mastery rank 8, you can probably skip Atomos. Just start going for the Ocucore with its augment mod, or you can even start getting into Kuva or Tenet weapons and get the Kuva Nucor or the Tenet Cycron online. But the Atomos is a very, very early game beginner friendly weapon, and Master Raid rank 4, man. Nothing wrong with that. And the last thing I want to talk about is Deriga. So with Deriga, I don't have him built up, but he's got something pretty special called Arc Coil, and we can turn him into an absolute monster. And if you don't want to wait until next episode, matter of fact, it might be 2 episodes from now before we get into that, I already have a video talking about how you can get the damage cap really, really easy, and this little weirdo, he's the one that does it. So if you want to go check out that video, it already exists. You don't have to wait for the next episode. You can go watch that. Now, the evolutions that we went with are base damage plus 51 because, you know, more base damage. I don't really care about the plus 3 multi-shot on last shot or the capacity to 60% damage. I don't really care about any of that. I just want more base damage because that carries over to the actual Incarnon form as well. So if we look here, we go all the way down to Incarnon form. We can see this is impacted from 82 to 102. We're obviously picking that. Evolution 3, you pretty much only have 2 choices here. 50% projectile speed, it makes it easier to hit your shots at range while in just the Torid form of the gun. If you don't know, we have to actually land hits on the enemy to slowly build up the Incarnon meter. Yeah, so I just choose 9 extra magazine capacity because I like to spam it into a big pack and it doesn't matter to me that much. But if you're having a hard time hitting longer range enemies or whatever, yeah, projectile speed is viable as well. The middle one, probably not a big deal to get that one. Reload from empty, lingering damage, field duration, doubles on first shot. I don't even really know what that means. It sucks. Okay, so here's the last big option, and this is what arguably makes the entire gun worth even using in the first place. Survivor's Edge. There's definitely a place for this, especially on like blast builds and heavy corrosive if you're going for more of a status build. But I'm gonna go for full crit. So if you look here, the base crit chance on the Incarnon form version of the gun is 44% and then 54% status. I'm gonna go a little bit heavy into the crit chance. Now you might think, oh dude, why are you trading off, you know, that much 15% status percent just for 5% more crit chance? It's because I like crits. That's literally it. That's the only reason. This is probably arguably better in every way, but I'm a sucker for crits, so I'm going with this one. All right, so next episode, we are going to be doing a bunch of farming. I'm going to get our Torid Incarnon to a respectable level. I will be showing that off, and we're going to be nuking some Steelpath. And yeah, I hope you're excited for that episode. Again, I apologize for the wait. These episodes really do take a long time. I got kids, I got a wife, I got responsibilities. You know, this is a hobby. I'm not really making that much money off this. It's just something I kind of do on the side for you guys, and as long as you keep enjoying it, liking it, and requesting more, I'll keep making more. So, love you guys, have a good night, be safe, and I'll see you really soon.